Okay, here we are for page 4 of chapter 3. If you watched the video on page 3, my slide that says page 3 ending for some reason doesn't show up. I sit down at the computer and there it is. But anyway, so page 4, section 4 will deal with soils and vegetation. So an ecosystem is an interdependent community of plants and animals. And then as we look at a smaller part of this system, we would call that a biome, a smaller regional ecosystem. Deciduous trees are those that lose their leaves in autumn. And a mixed forest, those with both deciduous and evergreen trees. So the trees lose their leaves in the wintertime. Kind of an interesting story how this happens. They don't just dry out and fall off. In fact, they've done an experiment where they cut a branch off a tree. Leaves are green and healthy, and they cut the branch off, they let it dry out, say, a month, and then they pick the branch up and they shake it, and the leaves do not fall off. So what happens is the tree actually secretes this chemical or something that severs the bond between the leaf and the tree. So the tree itself is actually getting rid of those leaves so that in wintertime when it snows, they don't have all those leaves and branches don't break. They still can if we get an early storm, but for the most part they're fine and they'll make it through the winter. The evergreen trees, of course, just the way they look, they're made. They taper at the top, down to wider at the bottom, and the branches go down, and the snow is not a real issue for those pine trees. Okay, chaparral, woody bushes, and short trees. Prairie lands, grasslands that lie inland, a lot of our Great Plains areas. And then people adapt to climates by the clothing that they wear. So here at school we start out with students wearing shorts and t-shirts, and now it's starting to change a little bit and get cooler. So longer pants, jackets, hoodies are starting to show up. And then before too long it'll be heavy winter coats and hats and gloves. But then there's always that one student that snowing outside and 10-degree temperatures, and they're walking in with a shorts and t-shirt and no coat. So anyway, homes they build. This one is a good example. So you got these stilts that the home is supported on. So this is an area that could receive a lot of water, and so they built the home up on those stilts. And transportation they use. This one shows a McDonald's, and these people are all at the drive-thru in their snowmobiles, and some of these snowmobiles have little snowmobile trailers. So that's an example. You know, here in Fillmore, a lot of people have four-wheel drive vehicles, whereas in, say, Las Vegas, you wouldn't necessarily need that. However, a lot of people do just because they like the way they look. But just depends on what you need, what your conditions are. But we adapt to that weather and climate in those, maybe in those three ways, mostly or more so than others. Okay, so that's the end of page 4, pretty short one, and that will finish up chapter 3. Thank you.